Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Alright, Flames fans, welcome aboard.
Warning, warning game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Okay, Flames fans, welcome aboard. Sorry about that, technical difficulties as always. We are used to. Okay, that was my YouTube feed playing in the behind the ground. Alright, welcome aboard everyone. Happy Friday, happy Saturday. Well, I guess some of you may be happy, some of you may be not. But the Flames grab a point against the Vegas Golden Knights, which could have been 0 if you think about it. It could have been an easy 2 if they had maybe scored on a power play, and a whole lot more to talk about tonight. Matsy is in chat, that hurt so much. Yes, we'll talk about that. A fluke goal ends up being in the back of the net for the Vegas Golden Knights, and they end up winning this game by a score of 3-2 in overtime, which was played at 4-on-4. So little fun OT time there. I'll put the QR code for our apparel all through along because I forgot to change the graphic. I had such a busy day today. I wasn't able to update everything. But welcome to Saturday. Welcome to Flames after playing the Vegas Golden Knights. The Flames dropped this decision by a score of 3-2 in an overtime. But they do get a point, which is useful. So we'll talk about the game specifics first. If you want to talk about just the game only, we are happy to do so. Bring your questions from the game itself. In the second period or second part of this portion, we'll talk about line blunders that happened today, expectations. We'll talk about a couple prospects that are buzzing around in the Flames locker room. And third, last but not the least, we'll take a look at the Out of Town scoreboard and what they need help from onwards. They'll, of course, I believe, need a Minnesota loss tomorrow. I believe they're playing against the Dallas Stars. From what I heard, we'll confirm that shortly as well. A whole lot more on this Saturday night on Game Over Calgary. If you're watching, my name is Anand. Welcome aboard. Your text line or chat line is open if you want to come chat. And let's get things rolling. After, like Matsy said, a disappointing one for the Flames, of course. They could have easily become 0 points, of course. Regulation loss. It looked like that way for most of the part until Joel Hanley and Matt Coronado tied it up for the Flames. And then they played some sloppy hockey. They had a late power play. They couldn't score on that. Huberdeau, when I believe, has gone back to his old Huberdeau, passing too much on the power play. You can maybe fault on that reason. Kevin Ball took a penalty. You can say the Flames killed that one, but it would have been scary. So I guess 1 point. It is what it is. And Dustin Wolf, the hero yet once again, but unfortunately a fluke goal gets by him. Alright, let's talk about this first period. But before that, I must do an ad read. Of course, if you are into this show and Hyperdrive Hockey, get ready to have some fun with your new source of information for all your biggest stories, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecer flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Hout, Daveen Malabau, and Kevin Lemaire every Monday and Thursday for your fill on the hockey world. Watch on YouTube on the Game Over Network channel or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. and head to our website at thegameovernetwork.com. Already, if you're watching right now, please be sure to like this video, subscribe, share it with all your friends. We do really appreciate the interaction. We just crossed 115 subscribers. Keep them going if you want more analysis like this. Hopefully when the Flames reach the playoff run, but we'll have to wait a bit more longer to see if that's possible. The Flames are not out of it yet. Every point gained is a good factor, and then they gain 1 point tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. Alright, let's talk about it. Overall game recap for those who weren't able to watch what took place and a whole lot more. So it's where Vegas Golden Knights opened the scoring. Another slow start for the Flames, but they started well against the Anaheim Ducks. The game in 16 seconds they scored. Nazem Kadri was the hero there, but that one, of course, you can argue it's against the Ducks, one of the easy teams, but Flames always kind of find themselves behind to start a hockey game, which is not the best thing, especially coming to the playoffs. You want to get yourself ahead as much as you can in a hockey game, and that's really important. So back change on the defense. It's Anderson and Ball that let the Vegas open. It's Doroviev assisted by Theodore and Saad. Dustin Wolf, we talked about him. We talk about him all the show, almost every show. He's one of the reasons that the Flames keeps winning or have a chance to win all game through, even in overtime. Even the penalty kill, when Kevin Ball took the penalty, he cleared it down the ice. He can do everything. He can save your shots. One or two unlucky ones might go by him. That happened during the overtime goal. But he'll even clear penalties, kill penalties for you. Then Vegas continued to dominate early in the second period. It was Riley Smith opening the scoring for the Vegas Golden Knights, assisted by Theodore and Olofsson. One player I want to talk about, Morgan Frost. He showed some good flashes towards the end, but he had an off night. Farabee had a tough night. Coleman, you got a feel for him. It's like the second goal he has gotten called back. And I'm going to be with Conrad again. He posted one image on a Discord server. Once again, if you're not on that, go check it out. But Coleman gets disallowed goals as often. Why can't we have a clear review? Why is it pixelated images? Technology has so improved. Probably with my webcam right here, you could see probably if the puck crossed the line. Lot to think that way. But then Kadri rings off the post, and Halley draws back the Flames before 7 seconds left before the second period, assisted by Kadri and Coleman. And then right out of the gates in the third period, Mac Coronato wins a draw, or Backlund wins it for Coronato on a draw. Coronato shoots it and scores, assisted by Backlund. Talking about Backlund, I give him a lot of credit tonight. He was amazing in the face-offs. I believe a total out of 18 out of 13 on the face-offs, 32 in total, 49.2%. The best we have seen Flames in a face-off zone. Mac Coronato got elbowed by Stone. He had headed to the room for concussion protocol, I believe. I don't know if he returned. I didn't see an official update. But I hope Mac Coronato is alright, because he's the one who tied the game for the Flames. Power plays were not good. Maybe the second power play was good. Apart from that, it was lackluster, no shots, too much overpassing. We talked about Jonathan Huberdeau overpassing too much. and it was overall a decent game, especially considering how Vegas is a tough team to play. We have one more head-to-head against the Vegas Golden Knights. I'll see when that is shortly here. So we don't go... okay, another crazy stat. The Flames haven't scored any goals against the Vegas Golden Knights couple games ago. The two meetings they have had. So the other one, Vegas Golden Knights, will be at home to the Calgary Flames on April 15th. That's another most important game. Hopefully that can add up 2 points. So now the Flames have just 6 games in the regular season, 2 on the road, actually 3 on the road, 3 to stay at home. Now in the context, all important win games at least. You have the meeting against the San Jose Sharks, you have the meeting against the Anaheim Ducks, against the Minnesota Wild head-to-head. That will be the most important one to win. San Jose Sharks comes back home to Calgary. Golden Knights will visit us one more time. And then to close it off, the rescheduled LA Kings game. So we are still playing meaningful games. Looking at the NHL standings, we'll talk about that in the third period as well in detail. But the Flames still stay alive. So the Flames have moved to 85 points. They are now 4 points out of a wildcard spot against the Minnesota Wild. There is no way we are catching the St. Louis Blues. They sit at 93 now. And that 93, St. Louis now have a 12-game winning streak. 12 game as of tonight. So it will be all crazy to see which two teams can hold the fort. In the Eastern Conference, it will look like Ottawa Senators and Montreal Canadiens. New York Rangers lost to the New Jersey Devils tonight. But we don't have to focus much on the Eastern Conference. It's the Western Conference in front of us. And the Utah Hockey Club have 3 points to catch. Vancouver Canucks have 2 points to catch. And the Vancouver Canucks had a good game against the Anaheim Ducks tonight. So we'll have to wait and see. The Flames have a game in hand. And the Vancouver Canucks have a game in hand against the Minnesota Wild. So still tooth and nail. Some say Vancouver Canucks are done. But the Flames are not done yet. There is huge things at stake moving forward. Alright, if you still joined us, it's late on a Friday night, on a Saturday night. I understand. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. I'll take them as long as you want. We'll chat around. But let's head into the second period. We'll talk about line blunders. We'll talk about 2 prospects that are keeping an eye on for the Flames. How early can they slot in? All that more in the second period. So if you're a prospects fan, or if you know somebody who is looking at the prospects, come chat. This is your segment. But looking for ways to upstart media company, employing over 30 young journalists like me and analysts across Canada. If you have few spare bucks kicking around, you can head to our Patreon page.com/the Game Over Network. There you'll find multiple tiers featuring different rewards and goodies for helping us grow. There is extra access, exclusive looks behind the scenes, Discord benefits, much discounts, opportunities to give us feedback, and you can join us for special shows live where you can interact with hosts as we launch more ways to improve your experience. If you're not able to spare a few dollars, we have a free tier available so you don't miss out. If you really want to help us, Make sure you click and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Of course, you are on the YouTube channel right now. Rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast app and share your work on your social media of choice. That's the patreon.com/the Game Over Network for tantalizing goodies. Alright, let's talk about the second period. A few line changes that I specifically saw. Correct me if I'm wrong though. I saw Klapka, Frost and Coronado to put together at one point. Then I believe Coleman, Backlund and Coronado came back together. And then Huberdeau, Kadri and Pospisil. Sharangovich I believe was sat down, put to the fourth line. And there were a whole lot of mix-ups. Frost didn't have a good game at all. I'll tell you that. Had few flashes towards the end. Farabee is snake bitten. He tried a couple of times, but he can't find a goal. Coleman looked kind of defeated after getting another goal call back. It has been a rough week for the Flames that has gone the wrong way against the officials. You can argue which one was a goal, which one was not. Today, maybe I partially understand there was a bit of goaltender interference allowed, included, but still I believe from the angle I saw, it crossed the line. But of course, I'm not the officials. They get to decide. Let's talk about now the two prospects. We'll start with Zane Perek, who's the biggest talk of the town right now. Biggest talk among Calgary Flames fans. And here is my prediction, a bold prediction. You can screenshot this. You can clip this, I don't care. But here is my bold prediction. I believe because Saginaw Spirit in the OHL got eliminated against the Erie Otters. That was the former team of Connor McDavid, of course. If they can get Zane Perek on a flight as early as tomorrow, let him get a couple practices down the stretch on Monday and Tuesday with the team on the road if he can. Then they come back, I believe, on Thursday or even as early as Wednesday night. Then they have the game against Minnesota Wild. I think you might see him debut then. Or the closest one would be after that is against the San Jose Sharks on Sunday, April 13th. So watch out for those tickets. It could fly. It could get busy the Saddle Dome. We don't know just when. But I do know Elliot Friedman confirmed it today on Sportsnet broadcast on Hockey Night in Canada that they'll make all kinds of plan for Zane Perek to be back with the squad with the Flames most likely. If there is a path right now, probably who would you shut down? That's an interesting question. We can talk about maybe Rasmus Anderson, who has banged up and missed a couple of morning skates. You can talk about Zane Perek maybe replacing a guy like Jake Bean. Is that a possibility? So we'll have to wait and see what the right solution is, or right path is for Zane Perek. But I would say my bold prediction, we'll see him sooner than later. Alright, now Aidar Suniev. He has been practicing and taking laps with the team. And his equipment just arrived, I believe, yesterday or something like that. So he just started practicing. But I don't think you would officially see him until the Flames are eliminated. I believe that's the verdict that the Flames have talked about, and you can most commonly agree with that. You won't officially see him unless the Flames are officially eliminated. That will be a tough task. When they will get eliminated, we don't know, because they're now just 4 points behind the Minnesota Wild. They still have a game in hand. and they have a head-to-head against Minnesota Wild. So the Flames playing meaningful games this late in April. Good thing. But if you're a Flames fan, do you want to see prospects play earlier? It might be a totally different case scenario with Zane Parak. But either Suniev, Bristovich, Grushnikov, if you want to give them tries from the Wranglers onto the Flames, it might have to wait a bit. So what lines am I sticking with onto the next game? I might see if I can bring back Coleman, Backlund, Coronato together. Huberdeau, Kadri, Pospisil, because Huberdeau has gone dry a bit as of late. And that would mean Sharangovich, Farabee, Frost, and then towards the end, Lomberg, Rooney, Klapka. That's my thoughts. We'll see what happens. Alex says, hello my friend. Alex, welcome aboard. Good to see you back on the chat line. If you have any questions about the Flames, let me know. We'll talk about it as we go through along. But we're going to transition into the third period, the final portion of this segment. And that's going to be the out-of-town scoreboard, because we'll need to look at that now moving forward every night now. We'll talk about where the other teams are at, which other teams we need to look at. There is no point in looking at St. Louis Blues now, because they are on a 12-game heater. The other ones we need to worry about are the Vancouver Canucks, maybe the Utah Hockey Club, but most importantly the Minnesota Wild. If you ever imagine your Flames to be in a playoff spot that nobody imagined to be. Alright, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard now. Again, if you have questions, Alex, Matt C, anybody who is in chat, bring your friends, share this video, like and subscribe, and find us on social media at thegameovernetwork.com. So the Flames are playing well, but unfortunately the playoff chances are pretty much non-existent. Or am I wrong? Alex, good question. They are not non-existent. They still have a chance. Now here's the scenario that I'll talk about right now. Each point that they got one tonight. That's really good. So they are still alive. What they need to do, they need to win the next two. That's against the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks. Totally possible. Then they have the head-to-head against the Minnesota Wild on Friday at the Dome. That's also a must-win. And then you have got the Sharks, Vegas Golden Knights, and the LA Kings. You need to win another couple more in that stretch. So, are we dead? No. Is it difficult? Possibly. But I trust in the Flames. They are playing well, 100%. They had some hiccups tonight, which they could have avoided. They did. They didn't get 0 points. They got 1 point out of it, which is a good sign to begin with, considering how difficult of a team Vegas can be. They need to do that one more time against the same Vegas team. By that point, we'll see if Vegas will start resting their main players as well. So there is another chance on that front. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on Minnesota Wild as well, how much their players will have, because the Wild are playing tomorrow against the Dallas Stars at home. We hope Dallas Stars will win. Next 4 games must be 100% win. Exactly, at least 1 or 2 points, 100% definitely. But the biggest one will be against the Minnesota Wild. KQ Johnny Goodrow Forever says, Anand, welcome aboard KQ. Thanks for spending the Saturday evening with us. So the only teams that are playing tomorrow is the Dallas Stars against the Minnesota Wild at 1 p.m. tomorrow. So we hope to have a Dallas Stars win on that one. And then the Vegas Golden Knights against the Vancouver Canucks. If the Vegas Golden Knights can get a couple points out of that, that will put Vancouver Canucks back behind the conversation as well. Of course, Vancouver Canucks played today against the Ducks and they won 6-2. So both teams will be tired. But you hope for a Vegas Golden Knights win tomorrow. On Monday, April 7th, after a day break, the Flames and Sharks take on in California Sharks, Macklin Celebrini. Of course, you know, against easy teams, usually Flames struggle because of the compete level. They try to play it down because the other team is down. But I hope they bring all to it. I know they're traveling on the road. I hope they're well rested. Then you're going to keep an eye on Vancouver Canucks against the Dallas Stars again on Tuesday, April 8th. And Minnesota Wild then don't play against San Jose Sharks on Wednesday, April 9th, when we take on the Anaheim Ducks. And then on Friday, April 11th, it's the head-to-head against the Minnesota Wild. So like Alex says on the chat right now, next 4 games, 100% must win. It is possible, but knowing the Flames, it will get tricky too. We'll keep an eye out for. So, the Wild plays the Sharks. They'll play the Flames as well. They'll play the Canucks on a back-to-back, the Wild. So, there is still a possibility. We'll see how this ends up. But Alex, I'll tell you again, the Flames are not out of it. They're not dead. If they maybe got 0 points tonight, I would say they're dead. But they're not. Keep that in mind. And now let's hit the chat line for the final portion of this show. Of course, if you are looking at this QR code, you have seen probably our great merch. But you can always go get a hoodie. You can always go get a cup for a hot chocolate or coffee. Of course, you don't need hot chocolate, so coffee this time around. And another nice t-shirt as well. Go grab that from our website. And thanks to Matt C, thanks to Alex, and thanks to KQ for spending the Saturday late evening with us. It's a late one, I understand. So we'll start from top of the chat. If you have any more questions, put them down in the chat below. But Matt C says that hurts so much, but at least 1 point is good, especially considering the tough Vegas Golden Knights team. Alex says, hello my friend, the Flames are playing well, but unfortunately the playoff chances are pretty much non-existent, or am I wrong, like we said right now? Next 4 games must win. And KQ says, Anand with a fire emoji. I'll keep the chat line open for a couple more minutes. If you have any thoughts or questions, let me know right away so that I don't miss any. But thank you to Matsy, thanks to Alex, and thanks to KQ for tuning in tonight on Game Over Calgary. Tokai number 1, what happened to Audie and Peter? Audie left last year. He's now has a good dad. He's a good dad. Has a baby girl, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So he has left Game Over Calgary. Peter is with now Sportsnet 960 on a regular basis. So he has also left the team, but mentoring us as well. So if you listen to Sportsnet 960 every, I believe, Mondays, but he was recently on vacation. But usually every Mondays they do a segment called Sportsnet Today from 6 to 7 p.m. He's usually hosting that. So both Audie and Peter got busy with their personal lives and took time off the team. But me, Conrad, Matt, and a couple new other faces, Ruby and Marek, are always here. Welcome Tokai number 1. Hopefully that answers your question. I'll let Audie and Peter know. I'm good friends with them, that you asked about them. And I'll pass on your message, of course. But we are about to almost wrap up the show after the Flames losing a battle, you could say, against the Vegas Golden Knights by a score of 3-2 in overtime. The next take on the San Jose Sharks on Monday on the road in San Jose. A short California road trip. It's the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks. Flames are still playing meaningful games, but the playoff chances are not dead yet. And Tokai number 1 says, oh yeah, thumbs up. Alright, have a fantastic evening, everybody. As always, hopefully the Flames don't disappoint after coming on such a strong run. We hope they can continue this and not disappoint us fans randomly in between. We had a shocker tonight, but it is manageable because they come up with 1 point. If it was 0, it was all done and dusted. Until next time, have a good night, take it easy, and see you around. You're watching Game Over Calgary. My name is Anand Unithan, signing off. Have a great rest of your week ahead. Also, tomorrow the Calgary Wranglers are playing, the affiliate team of the Calgary Flames. So if you're interested to watch one of their games, they are playing at the Saddle Dome. They won today, this afternoon, 3-1 massive win. And they also need a miracle playoffs run because they were sitting on top of the American Hockey League and have slid quite a way down ways. Until then, have a good night, take it easy, and see you around.
Wills on your Flames Talk post-game show on this Saturday night. And before we hear from head coach Ryan Huska, let's get some final thoughts from our broadcast duo, starting with Megan Mickelson this evening. Mick?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to beat this to death, but great that they came away with a point. But like I said, Kale